Hey, good morning and welcome back to Dakota News Now. It is time for another edition of Owning Your Outdoors. And joining me, like always, is Doug from Lewis. Doug, today we are talking about something that you don't necessarily want around, Japanese beetles.
Right. It's an insect that can be devastating to trees, landscape, whatever. And I thought we'd talk about it today because I've seen a few incidences in our area, so something we should discuss.
So how did they originally get here and what do they look like for people to know?
They were another thing that was brought over from the Orient, from Japan, of course. And what they look like, if you're looking for them, they're about a ½ inch long. They have a blue-green type head and a copper-colored back. The larvae, which is under the ground, is like a grub, and it's about 3/4 inch and has 6 legs. So the best way to treat for it to start out with would be to put a grub type material down so that they don't emerge and become devastating.
So let's say that you do have some Japanese beetle infection. What are some of the telltale signs that you have them around?
Well, first of all, like a grub infestation, we have brownness to different patches of the yard. That means the grubs have been devouring the root system of the lawn throughout the winter and spring. So you start seeing that, pretty good sign it's Japanese beetle or grubs or something of that type of damaged insect going on. Another thing to look for, if you see a tree or plant and the leaves are being devoured and almost, they call it skeletonized, where they've eaten all the soft tissue, but the veining is still there. So it looks like almost like a skeleton to the leaf.
Okay, so you already talked about the grub X. What are some other things that you can do to treat for Japanese beetles?
The most effective way to treat for Japanese beetle, unfortunately, is the most time consuming, and that's actually to pick them off the plant, put into a bucket of soapy water. The soapy water will kill them. That's the most effective. There are other ways. You can use neem oil. The downside of neem oil is after every rain, it needs to be reapplied. Insecticides, which are very effective. And another way is actually a trap. You can make a trap or buy a trap, and that draws the Japanese beetles to it, and they end up dying inside the trap. The downside of a trap, putting it in your yard, is it draws Japanese beetles from blocks away. So your local population could actually grow with having a trap in your yard.
So what are some of the plants that Japanese beetles absolutely love?
Oh, they love linden trees, they love pin oak trees, they love any kind of fruit trees, raspberries. Roses are one of their delicacies, and hibiscus are some of the things that they really truly love.
Are there any sort of plants that they don't like?
Yes, there are plants that they don't like lilacs, yews. They don't like emerald ash trees, but every tree or every plant has its nemesis. We've seen what's happening with the ash trees. So there are just a number of things that you can buy that they don't like. But just remember, when you do buy it, chances are there's another insect that will like it.
Exactly. Doug, some good information this morning. Anything else to add?
No, it was great.
All right, so now you have all the scoop on Japanese beetles. We'll have all this information online at dakotanewsnow.com. In the meantime, stick around. Fastcast is coming up next.